who knows what the dungeon has in store. So without further ado, let's just get ready to hop right into it, shall we? With good old Raw Control, Chaos Knight of Zom. So we had just been experimenting a little bit with statue form, something I'd kind of forgotten about until just this moment when we logged in. Normally I like to give myself a little bit of a refresher, go into the run and see how things were, see how things were going, but unfortunately did not do so today. So we're going to be flying blind together here with what little vestiges of knowledge I can scrape together from my memory of last week. But the question becomes, do we wish to try out this statue form stuff? It slows down our attack a little more than I would like, but it does give us some very nice defense. Up to 30 ACA. Could always do it at least for the entrance to the new floor here, so that we're not immediately overwhelmed and all of our health is just gone. Even potentially, I'd go as far as to say that we could do it until we work off this drain. Because then at least we have the full health pool to fool around with here. Because as is, even though we're a troll and we have plenty of health, it's pretty wild how quickly everything can go from bad to worse. So having some amount of preparation for just such an eventuality seems like it would likely be a good idea. Ooh, and I don't really wish to lose any of our large rocks to the deep water, so I think I will swap over to a little bit of boomerang action here just to finish off our avatar friend. Do what Zuko is never able to, and we got the avatar. But okay. You know, this doesn't seem horrible so far. I guess one thing I was forgetting was, I believe we tested this at the end of the day last week. When we throw a rock, it takes 1.8 turns while in statue form, which is not great, per se. So this might be something that we do need to revisit a little bit here. But for the moment, won't worry too much about it. We're doing okay for the time being, and that extra little bit of defense is definitely helping out. We've just changed from a bit of a run and gun, throw the large rocks and see what happens, to instead being a bit more of a static tank, needing to stay relatively still. Oh, thank you for the friend song. You know, I was just thinking to myself, it gets lonely down here, so how lovely. Oof. Oh, I'm confused. Oh, well, that's always fun. Let's get some curing. We can take a step out here. Oof. So I take a couple actions there. I kind of queued them up and buffered it. That was not the right call by any means. Down to 51 health. I mean, Fear Scroll is probably the way to go. I'm curious if we'll have to link it together with some blinks. Because if we're going to have to blink anyway, then we could potentially at least think about doing that first and foremost. But I think potentially getting some of these enemies to back away will be pretty critical to our continued survival. And then maybe now, as we land in a random spot, a forgotten spot in the middle of the Caribbean here. There we go. We have at least seemingly recovered, though we're not out of the hot water yet. Especially since we will eventually come across those friends that we just left behind. And let's see, we don't have any cold resistance on hand here. Not the end of the world if I can just kill this son of a gun. Perfect. And that doesn't go too poorly here, all things considered. I do hate just how quickly we mulch through our boomerangs, though. Ooh, and we lose our poison resistance. Dang it, Zom. I thought we had a bit of an agreement there, a bit of an understanding at the very least. But to each their own, I guess. The hat, on the other hand, I would definitely like to wear. We have poison and electricity resistance thanks to statue form. So that actually works okay for us here. Won't worry too much about a robe of positive energy, though I do appreciate some positivity coming our way here. You have to get multiple javelin throws. Fortunately, large rocks deal enough damage to kind of make it work, even if it's not quite ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Ooh, and a big old tower shield, hey? I mean, we probably should start thinking about defenses at some stage in our journey here, and sooner is probably better than later. I'm down to 2 intelligence. Just noticed. Ah, yes, there we go. It's the dopey and these two, giving us an overall -6 modifier. Well, that's not great. If we become just a little more dopey, then unfortunately we're going to start passing out all over the place here, which is not ideal if you didn't guess such an outcome yourself already. But okie dokie, what else can I get rid of? Potions of Berserk Rage I'm kind of tempted to drop, but this is actually a rare character where there's some possibility that we use that. Torment Scrolls, I guess regular stones can probably go. Switch that out for the Curari darts here. And definitely update our pickup settings there to ignore all future little stones. We're more of a large rock kind of guy here, at least for today. What do you have, my friend? Just nets? Just nets. Try to break out of that son of a gun, and was tempted to just walk towards them, but thought we might as well just try for hitting the delete key there, or rather the equivalent of doing so with just one single large rock, usually enough to do the trick. And we'll just keep on keeping on. See how we fare here. That was actually probably a better moment to auto attack instead of throwing rocks, but hey, it all worked out, so not the end of the world. We get a little bit of negative resistance just being in this new statue form. I guess we can probably get rid of some of these other ones that we're not going to be touching. Minus 43% of your body armor, 0 base AC. So I think this is showing up weirdly just because of the statue form here. Actually, let's bring that back up. Does get rid of equipped weapons, shields, and gloves. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to throw stuff if we turn our hands into blades, unfortunately, so that makes it a little bit of a non-starter as far as I'm concerned, since that is, by and large, the driving force in the run here. Oof. Do I have any kind of AoE? Not so much, hey? There's an ice kraken in the background too. They're not fooling around here. Let's get a teleport. Rocked there. Thanks, Zom, for turning the snake into our friend. Doesn't really change too much, especially if it just instantly dies to our Javelineer friend. Oh, geez Louise. Hopefully the poison takes you out, my friend. Or a rock, that works too. Hey Eric, thank you for the luck for sure. Hope you're doing well out your way. Hey Thalphon, good evening to you as well. Hope the same for you, my friend. Where am I looking? There we go. Couldn't find the enemy at first. But not too bad. I think I am coming around to statue form just been a pretty solid choice across the board for us here. It's definitely working out to have a little bit of additional defense. In fact, there's the rune as well. Fantastic. Don't know exactly what's going on, but Scholzfuller probably weren't slowing down. I don't know, I think we might be slow enough with the statue form going. We're taking 1.5 turns just to take a step. So the only answer, of course, is for me to play twice as fast and likely get myself killed off in some kind of embarrassing fashion. I'm hoping, there we go. Just thinking to myself, as long as we take out this satyr before we go to like sub 100 health, then I'm happy with the encounter. But it definitely got a little bit closer than I otherwise would like. And I definitely am not a fan of getting surrounded here. We don't have too many teleports left, unfortunately. But I think we will need to use one. Just take a bit of a hop, skip, and a jump. And this can be our new home. So apparently we're still completely and totally surrounded. But in all seriousness, as long as the enemies start filtering in a little bit slower, then this definitely works out for us overall here, and that definitely does seem to be the case. Alright, the Zom character has the mutation set. Not great. I mean, it's not bad either. You know, the strength is nice. Cloven feet couldn't really care less. Tough skin and fur, I guess, do help if we drop statue form. But unfortunately, our AC is so low at that point that probably doesn't really do it. The main issue is just how much intelligence we lost. But hey, we'll see how it goes. And let's see, cold vulnerability. I mean, int -5 is currently just a no-go for us. So unfortunately, this ring is not quite gonna be changing any of our strategy here. Where the heck did that Javelineer go? That's the big question of the hour here. I can definitely ignore this new ring. There's our javelin throwing friend. Ooh, as we hit our skill caps as well. I actually forgot to come in and take a look at these as we started off, so I have no idea what we were training. But I guess it's all a little bit irrelevant, because the real question becomes, what will we be training? And I mean, fighting is probably a safe bet. Evocations would be if I could just get a few more rechargeable evocation items in my inventory. Alternatively, I guess some of the defensive skills. I'm looking at that shields, and it's a ways off before we'd be able to use the tower shield effectively. But it would probably be an intelligent decision to start that process sooner rather than later. Fighting, could throw in throwing. Messed up my wording there a little bit, getting into some of that semantic overload there, but that's fine. New situation sorted out. Yes, headphones are back online here. I mean, no promises, because I'm not confident that I plugged them in much after last stream, and it was about, I don't know, 20-30 minutes before this one that I realized, oh gosh, those have just been sitting there and they may still be on the fritz. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm sure we'll last for the stream here, and things are all good for the moment. Oh me oh my, it just continues. Well, this time we definitely have a better start against our goat-themed friends here. Being able to take some of them out early on is a pretty huge bonus. There's the Aquamancer. And not too shabby here. All things considered, I will just run up to you, my friend, and rinse and repeat. And that should basically be Shoals. Done and dusted here. Not too bad, all things considered. And what is our plan for next? Oh my gosh, we haven't even visited our orc yet? Okay, I'll probably head that way before jumping into Spider, but we definitely will have to be tackling Spider at some point. And for that we will be staying in statue form. I don't like how slow we'll be in statue form, but we need the poison resistance. So I think it's a little bit of a straightforward option there. And thank you, Zom, for the brief intermission on our way. I appreciate it. It's nice to see the sights and sounds of shoals before we head off. Wand of Ice Blast? Take this instrument of something, Zom says. Well, thanks, Zom. I appreciate it, buddy. That's why I don't care what all the others say. You're all right in my books. And we shall see how it goes. Let's get the cursor out of there. Work should be fairly straightforward. Need to be a little bit more cautious probably when those big sons of guns appear, but that's fine. I also kind of wasn't thinking fully there. Stepping off the stairwell to get the polearm user to come up with me, normally an okay move in that situation, but because of how slow we are, there was a chance that the sword orc would have double stepped onto our stairs and we would have been in a whole new world of hurt, but hey, never didn't have it. Just need the confidence to continue on. That's the most important part, really. Ooh, I don't want to hit anyone hitting this alarm trap. Hey, Dan Branny, the game is going well here. Well, I guess I'll talk to you in a minute after we've dealt with this situation, and I may or may not have the same answer. There we go. Just get out of sight of that for the moment here and lead everyone down into a nice little corridor. In fact, if we could all just come say hello over here, that would be lovely. Very much appreciated. Thanks, Zom, taking us on another little field trip. I guess I appreciate that too in its own special way. But let's definitely pop into a slightly more defensible position. Ooh, Zom actually did a bit of a blast there, giving us the much needed AoE. Definitely the spot that we struggle with the most on this character. Very much a straightforward one-on-one kind of approach usually for us, but hey, that worked out quite well. Branded this son of a gun with chaos. Well, fortunately they die quickly enough that that won't really be a factor, but definitely slightly terrifying. Zom, I guess Zom does giveth and taketh away, so it's only fair, really. Troll Throne Stones was your first win, if you remember correctly. Nice. It's definitely super strong. We're a little slow in statue form for throwing the large rocks, but there's something quite satisfying about just deleting enemies off the screen one at a time at range. It's essentially the same reason that I really enjoy using like triple crossbow ranger characters. I think I will snap by a willpower ring here just so we have some recourse as we continue on. We could have some more paralysis casting enemies here, so that seems to be important. How did I end up with 54 large stones? Mostly luck. I feel like we were running into just an absurd number of Cyclops in our early dungeon, and so we've managed to save them up. I definitely, expect to get a decent amount. Again, it's one of the advantages of playing the Oni or the Troll here is that large rocks are guaranteed to come in an okay amount at least, since every, level of the dungeon past a certain point has some monster that will carry them, whether it be Cyclops, Stone Giants, or there are probably some others that are escaping my mind right now. But even with that, I did not expect us to, so early on, have a stockpile. So very happy with that, and as long as we don't mulch too many of them. See how it goes? By the way, why Zom? Oh, why not? Zom is the greatest friend a buddy could have here. I don't see any problems whatsoever that come out of this relationship. But no, it is mostly just because, it's on the list eventually. We're going to need a Zom win. And then it also helps out that we had Cowboy Jim last week recommended, and we were not feeling very decisive. Which, shocker. As always, I didn't want to have to make any of my own decisions, and instead passed it off to the audience. Oh me, oh my. And the confusion just doesn't stop. There we go. At least that son of a gun is dead now. So that gives us some amount of hope as long as we can clear out the rest of these sons of guns in relatively short order. Fantastic. Holy moly. Oh, you visited the right moment. Spectacular death in Spider. Oh, hey, there's still time. Might happen, but not yet. Not today. Actually, yeah, we're down to 1 intelligence. Oh, the ghost moth. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. Just gonna have to take that orb to the face. In fact, why am I walking towards you? What am I doing with my life? There we go. Well, we've at least broken ground here. Might be a little bit rough. It's definitely pretty much as I expected going into Spider would be, and I'm very unhappy with these Tarantellas because we have very, very little recourse in dealing with them. Only 3 curing potions means that we can't burn too many resources getting out of the confusion, and instead we're just gonna be crossing our fingers. I guess the flip side of my lack of enthusiasm and optimism here is that with statue form, this is actually going much better than it could have otherwise. Having that defense lets us wait out the confusion without going immediately into panic mode each and every single time we see those sons of guns. So in that capacity, we're actually doing fairly well here and can't complain. Any character surviving through Spider's tales to tell? I mean, you're definitely not wrong. Not a huge fan of Spider, at least going off of all my previous experiences and how often this ends in a horrible fashion. Oh, look at that, a battle sphere for our trouble. Again, thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, buddy. Oh me, oh my. Wait out the confusion. Holy moly. But seems like we've settled into a little bit of a steady state here. Bunch of demon summons shouldn't be a big deal either. See, that I can get behind some. If you're gonna throw some hurdles our way, then more like that, please and thank you, if you could be so kind. Especially ones that like to tabby. And that definitely fits the bill, both for myself and for our lovely Raw Control here. So we can definitely get ourselves into a troublesome spot, especially since that potential catastrophe is kind of multiplied by the fact that statue form makes us move so slowly. Essentially, every time we tab, there's almost twice as long. I guess not anymore, probably. Okay, we're at 1.1 attack delay, so still a little bit more action from our friends than I'd like each and every single turn, but hey, it's kind of working out for the moment here, so let's not knock a good thing and just hope that by some miracle this continues to be the general trajectory as we continue on here.